Yes, Acharya, you can start.
Yeah. So I think it's time now. Humble request, everybody mute yourselves so that you don't do echo. So let's sit down straight to body totally relaxed from head to toe. Still some echo. So let's sit down straight, close the eyes gently with the body totally relaxed from head to toe. Deep inhale and exhale. And while exhaling, we are going to chant the main name of Ishvara God, Om, the omnipresent, present everywhere at all times, the omniscient, all knowledgeable, the all just and all merciful Ishvara. And while chanting Om, we'll focus on our own pronunciation, the sound waves of the pronunciation and the vibrations coming back to us, and feel the silencing of the mind and the heart from external thoughts and external emotions. Feel the inner peace sprouting out of our inner self, the pure soul, the peaceful soul. Gayatri mantra in the form of bhajan. Om bhurbhuvah svah तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् तूने हमें उत्पन्न किया पालन कर रहा है तो तुझसे ही पाते प्राण हम दुखियों के कष्ट हरता है तो तेरा महान तेज है छाया हुआ सभी स्थान सृष्टि की वास्तु वास्तु में तू हो रहा है विद्यमान तेरा ही धरते ध्यान हम मांगते तेरी दया ईश्वर हमारी बुद्धि को श्रेष्ठ मार्ग पर चला। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. Slowly, gently join the palms and rub them together. Cover the eyes and gently open the eyes below the palms. External light doesn't hit at our eyes, and transfer the energy to the facial muscles. Welcome everybody to this satsang of today, and we'll start with Ishvara Stuti Prarthana Upasana. Stuti, praising of the qualities of Ishvara God. And when we praise good qualities, we tend to filter them into our life and in turn be good, virtuous. Prarthana, praise, and praise to be done only after we'll be putting all the physical and mental efforts towards realizing the goals or the objectives of our prayers. And upasana, communion with the self and with Ishvara God. Communion with the self, recognizing that we are the soul within this body and the soul as the driver of this body. And Ishvara God as the creator of the universe, the one and only ruler of this universe, with no equal or no superior, and the one always residing within us, guiding us to be truthful in our words, in our thoughts, in our words, and in our deeds. Manasa vacha karmana. Atheshwara stuti prarthnopasna mantra. Om Vishwani Deva Savitar Duretani Parasuva Yad Bhadram Tanna Asuva. Om Hiranya Garbha Samavartatagre Bhutasya Jatah Patireka Asit Sadadhara Prithivim Dyamutemam Kasmai Devaya Vishavidema. Om Ya Atmada Balada Yasya Vishwa Upasate Prashisham Yasya Deva Yasya Chayam Ritam Yasya Mrityu Kasmai Devaya Vishavidema. Om Yah Pranato Nimishato Mahitvaika Idra Jagato Babhuva Ya Ishe Yasya Dvipadashatushpada Tasmai Devaya Vishavidema. Om Ye Nadyo Rugra Prithivi Chadridha Yena Swasta Bhitam Yena Naka Yo Antarikshe Rajaso Vimana Kasmai Devaya Vishavidema. Om Prajapate Natvadetanyyo विश्वजातानि परिता बभूव यत्कामास्तेजोः मस्तन्नो अस्तु वयं स्याम पतयोरयीनाम् ॐ सनो बन्धुर्जनिता सविधाता धामानि वेद भुवनानि विश्वा यत्र देवा अमृतमानश्रानास्त्रितीये धामन्नद्यैरयन्त ॐ अग्नेन यसुपधाराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् योयोध्यस्मज्जोरानमेनो भूयिष्ठां तेन उक्तिं विधेम. 8 mantras there. The first one is praying to Ishvara God to remove all our ills and evils, and in that place to fill in all that is beneficial, benevolent to us and for our surroundings. But remember, as I said, prarthana is to be done after putting all the efforts. So the efforts to remove all the ills and evils of our life resides with us, and to fill in the beneficial things also is our duty. Second mantra says, Hiranya Garbha, Ishvara God as the golden womb, creator of this whole universe, and Patire Kasi, the one and only ruler of this universe. Then we say Atmada Balada, Ishvara as the divine guidance, of divine guide within us, the inner voice, always prompting us to be energetic, physically, mentally, spiritually, morally, and socially. The next mantra says, Yah pranato nimeshato. Ishvara is the giver of life because it has created the whole of this universe. And with all the species, the life forms in the universe, remember all these have their purpose of maintaining the ecological balance of this universe. So we have to be considerate to bipeds, quadrupeds, and all the other forms of life. Maharishi Dayanand gives it as Dopai or Chaupai Praniyo Adi. So it's the whole of the living beings. And we have to be careful also to the non-living beings, the earth, water, fire, air, and space. And the next mantra says, Ye Nadyo Rugra, and goes with Amrita Manashana Stritiye. So our objective is to get that nectar, Amrit. And what is that nectar? Is the eternal bliss of Ishvara God. All the other happiness that we derive from the things of the universe last only for a certain point in time. And the eternal bliss of God, this is mukti, moksha, to what we aspire eventually at the last destination of this life. The next mantra says, Prajapate Natvadeta Ninyo, He Sab Praja Ke Swami Paramatma. So recognize Ishvara God as the ruler of the universe, and we being part of the kingdom, and we are the, as we say, the kith and kin within that kingdom. And all people residing within the kingdom, what do? They follow the laws, the rules and regulations of the kingdom. And this is what we need to do by acknowledging Ishvara as a Sabpraja Ke Swami Paramatma, the ruler of all the living and non-living beings in this universe. And then Vayam Syama Patayo Rainam, going on the path of Dharma, righteous living, will become masters of both spiritual and material treasures needed to attain Sukha, happiness, Shanti, peace, samriddhi, prosperity. The next mantra says Sanu Bandhur Janita. Then we start describing our own relationship with God. God as the closest, nearest, dearest sibling, not only in this life, in the previous lives we had, and in the future lives we'll be having, and in moksha will be simply living in the bliss of Ishwar God. And the last mantra says, Vava Yunani Vedwan Yuyodhyasmad Johura Nameno. So we pray to be surrounded by elderly and knowledgeable persons who will share their life experiences and their knowledge. For what purpose? That will give us the footing to avoid the errors and emissions and the evil doings and be rightful, be truthful in life. Iti Ishwara Stuti Prarthana Upasana Mantra. Let's now move to Achaman. Please take water in the right palm. 3 mantras. At the beginning of each mantra, take sufficient water so that when you sip, it goes till the throat. At the same time, it clears the cough of the throat for proper chanting of the mantras. And also water being purifying, just praying to God that will keep our mind, our body, and spirit pure. Om Amritopastaranamasi Sva. Second mantra. Om Amritapidhanamasi Sva. Third time. Om Satyam Yashashirmai Shri Shayatam Sva. Wash your hands and please take water in the left palm. The last mantra says Satyam Yashaha Shrirmai Shri Shayatam. So Satyam, being truthful, Yashaha, by being truthful, will earn name and fame, and Shri means attain all the prosperity that we need in life. अंग स्पर्श करते समय ईश्वर से याचना करें कि हे प्रभु, जिन इंद्रियों को हम स्पर्श करने जा रहे हो हमारे सुपथ सन्मार्ग पर चलने के लिए हमारे सहायक बने. O Ishwar God, may your grace flows throughout our body and all the organs that we are going to touch. May you inspire our soul, and the soul drives the mind and all these organs towards righteous actions and to make us grow on the path of righteous living. First on your right hand side, then on your left hand side, and it's always at the end of the mantra, please. Om Vangamasyastu, Om Nasormi Pranostu, Om Akshanormi Chakshurastu, Om Karnayorme Shrotramastu, Om Bahurme Balamastu, Om Urvormaujostu, Om Arishtani Mangani Tanustanvame Sasantu. Lighting of the lamp. Agni Adhan के लिए दीपक जलाएंगे. At the end of the mantra, Om Bhur Bhuvah Swaha. Now, if you're having the Havan Kund, please take camphor in the Sruva and then introduce the fire into the Havan Kund using the camphor. Om Bhur Bhuvah Swaha Dyoriva Bhumna Prithiviva Varemna Tasyaste Prithivi Deva Yajani Prishte Agni Mannada Mannadyaya Dadhe. The next mantra is Agni Samindhan mantra. What previously we were doing is when we introduce the fire from the embers, of the fire from the kitchen were fanning the fire. But now since we are using camphor, so let's put 2 free spoonfuls of ghee on the samidha to get the fire blazing. Om Udbudya Svagni Pratijagri Tvamishta Purte Sansrijetamayancha Asmin Sadhaste Adyutarasmin Vishve Devaya Jamanascha Sidata. Samidhadan, 3 pieces of samidha wood sticks dipped into ghee. Pehli samidha, the first samidha with this mantra. Om Mayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nidya Svavardha Svachedda Vardhaya Chasman Prajaya Pashubir Brahmavarchase Namnadyena Samedhaya Sva Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Namama. Second samidha, we have 2 mantras here. It will be on the second swaha to offer the samidha. Om samidhagnim duvasyata gritervodayata tithim asmin havya juhotana svaidamagnedam namama. Om susamidhaya shochishe gritam tivram juhotana Agnaye Jata Vedase Sva Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Dan Namama. Third Samidha. Om Tantva Samidbhirangiro Gritena Vardhayamasi Priyachochaya Vishtaya Sva Idam Agnayangirase Idan Namama. Panchagrit Ahuti, offering of ghee 5 times with one and the same mantra. Purpose is to get the fire blazing, because after that will be offerings of ghee and samagri. And the fire blazing will do the combustion, evaporation, and sublimation process to get the essential oils of the ghee and samagri as vapors into the atmosphere. For the time being, only ghee. And in this mantra, coincidentally, we are praying 5 things. Praja, kith and kin, children, grandchildren, be dutiful, be following our guidance, our instructions. Pashuvir, the pets and domestic animals that we have, bring us peace. Then Brahma Varchas, the knowledge of the Vedas, knowledge given to us by God through this universe, the physical sciences, bring us peace. Then and we'll always have full, healthy, health-promoting, nutritious food for our growth, for sustenance of life. And Samedhaya will have the knowledge, the power to effectively and efficiently use the 4 to grow towards Sukh, happiness, Shanti, peace, and Samriddhi, prosperity. Om Mayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nedya Svavardha Swachedda Vardhaya Chasman Prajaya Pashuvir Brahmavarchase Namnadyena Samedhaya Svaha Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Dan Namama. Om Ayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nidya Svavardha Swachedda Vardhaya Chasman Prajaya Pashuvir Brahmavarchase Namnadyena Samedhaya Svaha Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Dan Namama. Om Ayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nidya Svavardha Swachedda Vardhaya Chasman Prajaya Pashuvir Brahmavarchase Namnadyena Samedhaya Svaha Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Dan Namama. Om Ayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nidya Svavardha Swachedda Vardhaya Chasman Prajaya Pashuvir Brahmavarchase Namnadyena Samedhaya Svaha idam agnaye jataveda idam namama. Jal sechanam. Using water, sprinkling of water around the Havan Kund. First, we should notice the equilibrium between fire and water. Second, sprinkling of water, especially around the Havan Kund, is to prevent insects, crawling insects like ants, etc., to climb the Havan Kund. And then the chemical reaction of the vapors of the water and the vapors of the Havan Kund, forming formaldehyde, which is a very powerful antiseptic, warding off airborne viruses and bacteria. And this is proven by scientific research done by Swami Satyaprakash, not in India, but in Germany. So sprinkling of water first on the east side. Om Adite Numanyasva. On the west side. Om Anumate Numanyasva. On the north. Om Saraswati Numanyasva. Now all around the Havan Kund, starting from northeast, going clockwise and finishing northeast. Om Deva Savita Prasvayadyam Prasvayadyapatim Bhagaya Divyo Gandharva Ketapu Ketanna Punatu Vachaspatir Vachanna Swadatu. The next ahuti is first on the northern side, from northwest to northeast. Second, south, from southwest to southeast, always moving towards light, the physical light of the morning, enabling us to take cognizance of our surroundings, of the sciences in the universe, and the light of knowledge that is given to us by Ishwar God. North, Om Agnaye Svaha, Idam Agnaye Dan Namama. South, Om Somaya Svaha, Idam Somaya Idam Namama. Center, Om Prajapataye Svaha, Idam Prajapataye Idam Namama. Om Indraya Svaha, Idam Indraya Idam Namama. Now, ghee and samagri, both of them, we go moving towards the Pratakalin Ahuti, Suryo Jyoti, the mantras for the morning. Om Suryo Jyotir Jyoti Surya Svaha. Om Suryo Varacho Jyotir Varacha Svaha. Om Jyoti Surya Suryo Jyoti Svaha. Om Sajur Devena Savitra Sajurusha Sandravatya Rushana Suryavetu Svaha. Mantras for the evening, Sayankalin mantra. Om Agnir Jyotir Jyotir Agni Svaha. Om Agnir Varcho Jyotir Varcha Svaha. Om Svaha. Om Sajur Devena Savitra Sajuratrandраvatya Rushano Agniravetu Svaha. Now the next mantras guide us towards how to chant the mantras. It's by taking deep inhale and exhale while chanting the mantra Bhuragnaya Pranaya Swaha, Bhurvaive Panaya Swaha, Swaradityaya Vyanaya Swaha. We have to activate these three main life forces. There are 10 in our body. The mains are Pran, inhale, Apan, exhale, and Vyan, the life force, that's breath that sends oxygen and nutrients to all parts of the body and remove all the toxins out. So remember, deep inhale, try to chant the mantra in one breath, at least from Om to Swaha, otherwise the full mantras. Ghee and samagri. Om Bhuragnaye Pranaya Swaha, Idam Agnaye Pranaya Idam Namama. Om Bhuvarvaive Panaya Swaha, Idam Vaive Panaya Idam Namama. Om Swaradityaya Vyanaya Swaha, इदमादित्याय व्यनाय इदं नमः ॐ भूर्भुवस्वरग्निवायुवादितेभ्यः प्राणपानव्यानभ्यः स्वाहा इदम् अग्निवायुवादितेभ्यः प्राणपानव्यानभ्यः इदं नमः ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसोमृतं ब्रह्मभूर्भुवस्वरों स्वाहा ॐ यं मेधां देवगणः पितरश्चोपासते तयामामद्यमेधयग्निमेधाविनं कुरु स्वाहा ॐ विश्वानि देव सवितरदुरितानि परासुव यद्भद्रं तन्नासुव स्वाहा ॐ अग्नेन यस्पथाराय यस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मज्जोरानमेनो भूयिष्ठान्तेन मोक्तिं विधेम स्वाहा ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा ॐ विश्वानि देव सवितर्दुरितानि परासुव यद्भद्रं तन्नासुव स्वाहा ॐ स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवा स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदा स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षर्यो अरिष्टनेमि स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु स्वाहा ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवा भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्रा स्थिरैरङ्गैष्टुष्टवांसस्तनुर्भिर्व्यशेमहि देवहितं यदायुः स्वाहा. These two mantras, Swasti mantra, praying for the welfare of everybody, praying for health, and its physical health, mental, moral and spiritual health, and social health. Now, since it was Makara Sankranti the day before, we'll do the two mantras which are there for Makara Sankranti. Om Sahascha Sahasyascha Hemantakavrito Agneranta Shleshosi Kalpetam Dyava Prithvi Kalpatam Apaushadaya Kalpatam Agnaya Prithang Mama Jeshtayaya Savrata Swa Om Ye Agnaya Samanasantara Dyava Prithvi Me Hemantakavrito अभिकल्पमान इंद्रमीवा देव विशन विशन्तु तया देवतयंगीरसद्रुवै सीदतं स्वाहा ओम तपश्च तप्य तपस्यश्च शैशीरावृतोऽग्नेरन्तः श्लेषोऽसि कल्पेतां द्यावा पृथिवी कल्पतामापौषधया अग्नयः प्रीतं मम ज्येष्ठयाय सव्रता स्वाहा ओम ये अग्नयः समनसोऽन्तरा द्यावा पृथिवी मे शैशीरावृतो कभी कल्पमाना इंद्रमीव देवा भीषण विशन्तु तया देवतयंगीरस्वद्रुवे सीदतं स्वाहा सहश्च सहस्यश्च हेमन्तकावृतौ. So it's talking about Hemanta Ritu, the transition of the seasons. You have to be careful. You have to have Sahascha, Sahan Shakti. And we need to make optimum use of the seasonal fruits and vegetables available in that season. Hemant is the fall season. And then the other one is Saishira Vritu. Saishira Vritu is winter. This is, it calls tapashcha tapasyascha. So it's called for tapa, that is developing resilience in front to face the adversity of the cold season. So the Vedas guides us, and Sankranti marks, we are nearing the end of the winter season. It will be soon the spring season and Vasanta Ritu. And the next festival we'll be having will be Vasant Panchami. And after that will be Holi. Navsamvatsar, etc. will be dealing with these festivals in due course. Remember, Sankranti celebrates the astronomy, the movement of the Earth in relation with its orbit around the sun, tilted on the axis, giving the alignment. And this is where we, in fact, Uttarayan, the movement started on the 21st December, but given the axis is tilted, that's why the physical effect, we start feeling it after 23, 24 days. And this is why Sankranti is currently celebrated on the 14th of January, in spite of solstice, winter solstice occurring on the 21st of December. We'll be now proceeding with 3 times Gayatri Mantra and 3 times Mahamrityunjay Mantra. Let's get the kids, Aryan and Yash, to chant the mantras. Remember, he's chanting the Gayatri Mantra and saying Swaha to be able to offer the ghee and samagri. So Yash and Aryan, when you chant the mantra, complete it with Swaha so that everybody can give the offerings. So Yash, Aryan will do the Gayatri Mantra. No, you should unmute yourself, please. Right.
भुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा ॐ भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा ॐ भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा
Yes, please. Trayambakam yajamahe.
ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुक्मिवन्दनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् स्वाहा ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुक्मिवन्दनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् स्वाहा ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुक्मिवन्दनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् स्वाहा.
Sishtakrita Ahuti. If you are prasad, that's fine. Otherwise, only ghee. Om yadasya karmanavatyaricham yadyanyonmihakaram Agnishta Shrishta Krit Vidyat Sarvam Swishtam Suhutam Karotu Me Agnaye Shrishta Krite Suhutahute Sarvprayashchita Hutinam Kamanam Samadetre Sarvana Kaman Samardaya Svaha Idam Agnaye Shrishta Krite Idam Namama. The following with only ghee. Om Swaha Idam Prajapataye Idam Namama. We'll be doing now the Purnahuti mantras with ghee and samagri. Om Sarvam Vai Purnam Swaha. Om Sarvam Vai Purnam Swaha. Om Sarvam Vai Purnam Swaha. Now put everything down. Just join the palms together, praying to Ishwar God with 3 mantras from the Samved Mahavamdevya Gan. Again, going for prayers to seek the grace of Ishwar God for Sukh, happiness, Shanti, peace, Samriddhi, prosperity. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha. Kayanashchitra Bhuvaduti Sada Vridha Sakha कया शचीष्ठया वृता ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः कस्त्वा सत्यो मदानाम् मंगेष्टो मत्सदन्धस दृदाचिदारुरेवसु ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः अभीशो नः सखीनामवीता चरित्रणाम् शतं भवास्युतये ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः. By the grace of Ishwar God, the yet for today is nearly over. We'll move to Dhananjay ji for the Yaj Prathana, please.
पूजनीय प्रभो हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए छोड़ देवे छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए वेद की बोले ऋषाई सत्य को धारण करें हर्ष में हो मग्न सारे शोक सागर से तरें अश्वमेधाधिक रचाएं यज्ञ परोपकार को धर्म मर्यादा चलाकर लाभ दे संसार को नित्य श्रद्धा भक्ति से यज्ञादि हम करते रहे रोग पीड़ित विश्व के संताप सब हरते रहे भावना मिट जाए मन से पाप अत्याचार की कामनाएं पूर्ण होए यज्ञ से नर नार की लाभकारी हो हवन हर जीवधारी के लिए वायु जल सर्वत्र हो शुभ गंध को धारण किए स्वार्थ भाव मिटे हमारा प्रेम पथ विस्तार हो इदं न मम का सार्थक प्रत्येक में व्यवहार हो प्रेम रस में मग्न होकर वंदना हम कर रहे नाथ करुणा रूप करुणा आपकी सब पर रहे पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए छोड़ देवे छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए प्रभु आत्मिक बल दीजिए। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् सबका भला करो भगवान, सब पर कृपा करो भगवान, सब पर दया करो दयावान, सबका सब विधि हो कल्याण। हे ईश सब सुखी हो, कोई न हो दुखारी, सब हो निरोग भगवन, धन धान्य के भंडारी। सब भद्र भाव देखे, सन्मार्ग के पथिक हो, दुखिया कोई होवे, सृष्टि में प्राणधारी। हे नाथ सब सुखी हो, कोई न हो दुखारी, सब हो निरोग भगवन, धन धान्य के भंडारी। त्वमेव माताश्च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव।
Om. My voice reaches you clear? Am I audible? Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, Acharya ji.
Okay, thank you. So let's now move for the blessings. Ashirvad. Close the eyes gently, join the palms together, and just try to connect with your inner self and the divinity within you. The grace of Ishwar God, remember, flows all around us at all times. It's only we have to become the proper recipient to hold that grace. We can't stand like a colander and expect to collect the grace of Ishwar. And the grace of Ishwar, we can receive that, we can hold that just by following the tenets of righteous living dharma or yama niyama from Maharshi Patanjali Yoga. Om Satya Santo Yajamanasya Kama, Om Purna Santo Yajamanasya Kama, Om Safala Santo Yajamanasya Kama. The mantra itself says Satya Santo Yajamanasya Kama. May the wishes of the Yajaman be truthful. Then Purna Santo, the truthful wishes of the Yajaman be complete. And Safala Santo, the truthful wishes of the Yajaman be complete with 100% success. Om Swasti na Indro Vridashrava Swasti na Pusha Vishraveda Swasti na Stakshadyo Arishthanemi Swasti no Brihaspatir Dadhatu Om Bhadram Karnebhi Srinuyama Deva Bhadram Pashyemakshabhirya Jatra Sthirairangaishtoshtamam Sastanurabhirvyashemahi Devahitam Yadayu. Om Swasti, Swasti, Swasti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Savi ko dhanyavad. Thank you, everybody. Namaste ji. We proceed now with the bhajan segment. Volunteers, please. Just raise your hand, unmute yourself and proceed.
Om Hari Om, Om Hari Om, भज मन प्यारे Om Hari Om, Om Hari Om, Om Hari Om, भज मन प्यारे Om Hari Om, ओम हटाए मन की माया, ओम मिटाए भय की छाया, ओम बहाए सुख की धारा, ओम नाम से हो जियारा, ओम हरि ओम, ओम हरि ओम, भज मन प्यारे ओम हरि ओम, ओम पिता है ओम है माता, ओम है बंधु ओम है दाता, ओम सखा है ओम है संपत्ति, ओम ही विद्या ओम ही भक्ति। Sorry. Om Hari Om, Om Hari Om, भज मन प्यारे Om Hari Om, जुल्मी हो चाहे अज्ञानी, हो पाखंडी या अभिमानी, ओम की महिमा जिसने जानी, सफल की जिंदगानी। ओम हरि ओम, ओम हरि ओम, भज मन प्यारे ओम हरि ओम, मात पिता भाई बहना, अंत में जाए संग कोई ना, ओम नाम ही एक सहारा, ओम नाम ही पालनहारा। ओम हरि ओम, ओम हरि ओम, भज मन प्यारे ओम हरि ओम, ये संसार मोह का सागर, झूठे न चाहे कितना जतन कर, ओम नाम की ओढ़ के चादर, प्यार से भर ले मन की गागर। ओम हरि ओम, ओम हरि ओम, भज मन प्यारे ओम हरि ओम, ओम की महिमा अपरंपारा, सुखी ओम से ये जग सारा, पुराणों ने बताया, ओम नाम का पाठ पढ़ाया। ओम हरि ओम, ओम हरि ओम, भज मन प्यारे ओम हरि ओम, भज मन प्यारे ओम हरि ओम। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद, नमस्ते। Thank you, Prem ji. Next, please. हाँ जी।
जो बोले सो अभय, जो बोले सो अभय, वैदिक धर्म की जय, वैदिक धर्म की जय। जो बोले सो अभय, जो बोले सो अभय, वैदिक धर्म की जय, वैदिक धर्म की जय। जो वेद के शिक्षा में मनुष्य मन लगाएंगे, धर्मार्थ काम मोक्ष वो फल चार पाएंगे। जीवन हो शांति में, जीवन हो शांति में, वैदिक धर्म की जय, वैदिक धर्म की जय। तज कर सभी कुपंथ शरण वेद की गहो, जय ताप से हो रहित सत्य शांति सकल हो। पाया है शुभ समय, पाया है शुभ समय, वैदिक धर्म की जय, वैदिक धर्म की जय। हे आर्य बंधु त्याग सकल वासना विषय, सायं व प्रातः ईश के करिए यही विनय। असतो मसद गमय, असतो मसद गमय, वैदिक धर्म की जय, वैदिक धर्म की जय। अभिमान द्वेष मन में किसी से कभी न हो, जब जब मिलो प्रकाश बड़े प्रेम से कहो। नमस्ते महाशय, नमस्ते महाशय, वैदिक धर्म की जय, वैदिक धर्म की जय। थैंक यू। आज अच्छी तरह से नहीं गाया गया मेरे, सॉरी।
Thank you very much.
आचार्य जी
और
please
कोई भजन? Sorry? Dhananjay ji, for the welcome, please.
Okay, Acharya ji, thank you everyone for joining today. We welcome on the behalf of Hindu Center of Atlanta. Today we are joined with Dr. Chandora, our mentor and guide and founder for Hindu Center of Atlanta. Jasodhra Prasad ji, I see if you... Jasodhra Prasad ji?
Yeah, that is Pandita Jasodhra from Toronto.
Okay, Pandita ji, okay. Pandita ji, yeah, this is the new name we see today. Okay, Pandita ji and Kamlesh ji, Sri Ram Vidyarthi ji, Prem ji, and Pratima ji. We are joined with Pratima ji. Pratima ji, can you unmute and tell us about yourself? Where are you joining from? Probably Pratima ji. Pratima ji probably cannot hear us for now. Okay, so last week we celebrated Makar Sankranti, Pongal. It's called different names in different parts of country, but the same purpose. It is transition from winter season to the spring season. Acharya ji has very beautiful explanations on the Facebooks and all. Acharya ji will guide us again today. Dr. Chandora ji, anything for us today on the occasion of Makar Sankranti? Dr. Saab? Okay, we will come back again. So in the meantime, Acharya ji will have his sarna.
I leave the floor 2 minutes open for Pandit Vidyarthi ji. He has an announcement about the Sanskrit classes.
Okay.
Pandit ji. Unmute yourself, please, Pandit ji.
Namaste Acharya ji and namaste everybody. I actually didn't, I was listening to the Havan, I didn't come on to make the announcement, but seeing that you asked, I am pleased to announce that it's a class that's being run by or done under the auspices of Maharishi Dayananda Gurukul in New York at Dr. Satish Prakash. And he has finished the first level, a Sanskrit, Introduction to Sanskrit, Basic Sanskrit, Sanskrit 100. He has finished that class. So the class continues, but he is not teaching it. He has asked a few of the students who were in the class to teach that introduction to Sanskrit. I am one of the students, and the information is available if you go. It's actually on Sundays. I'll give you the time. It's on Sundays at 3 o'clock, and it's for beginners. Again, it's a beginners class, and you know, quite a few things are being covered. All the different a few different tenses, present, past tense, and the moods, imperative mood and potential mood. So it's quite a few things that are being covered in the introduction basic Sanskrit. So I know most of you here might be familiar at least with some level of Sanskrit, but if you know someone who may be interested, you can ask them to reach out to us. Thank you so much. May God bless us all. Thank you, Acharya ji. Namaste.
We need to know like how to reach you. I have a couple of inquiries about the Sanskrit classes, so I will certainly pass on the information. Your phone number or any.
I will put my number in the chat, and you can get it there.
Okay. Okay. All right. Certainly. Thank you.
Okay. Namaste, everybody. Let's sit down straight. Close the eyes gently with the body totally relaxed. Deep inhale and exhale. And while exhaling, we are going to chant Sarva Vyapak Sarvajya Nyayakari Dayalu Ishwar ka Mukhya Nij Naam ka jap karenge. Doing jap of the main name of the omnipresent, omniscient, all just and all merciful Ishwar God Om. Deep inhale, and while exhaling, we are going to chant Om 3 times. Gently, slowly open the eyes and keeping the focus. ईश्वर की महती कृपा से आज का कार्यक्रम यज्ञ का समाप्त हुआ. Thanks by the grace of Ishwar God, the yajna of today is over. Moving now to the Satsang part. Thanks to Ishwar God for having graced us with the knowledge of the Vedas. The moments to sit down in Yajna Havan, the opportunity, because especially in those days of today, with COVID, just imagine so many people not seeing the next day. Right. Just not seeing the next day. So we have to pay gratitude. Thanks to Ishwar God for all the amenities He's given to us to arrange for this yajna. The knowledge and the sanskar transmitted to us by our father, mothers, elderlies around us, and the gurus who've been mentoring us in our lives. I'll just brush about on Sankranti because I've dealt quite deeply with that in my posts on WhatsApp and Facebook. As I said, Sankranti celebrates Uttarayan, which in fact physically started on the 21st of December with the winter solstice if you're in the northern hemisphere. And for those in the southern hemisphere, it's the summer solstice. It's the reverse because it's summer in the southern hemisphere. Actually, it's summer. And I have to get the fan unspade just beside me. So that's solstice. Because of the tilting of the earth on its axis, it appears the sun moving from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere. In fact, it's the exposure of the earth to the sun which changes. And that gives that apparent movement. And that's why days start being longer in the northern hemisphere and shorter in the southern hemisphere. Uttarayan is auspicious for the northern hemisphere because days starts becoming longer, one. The morning sunlight is known as health promoting because the first rays of the sunlight falling on our body enables our body to produce vitamin D, and to that extent, which cannot be manufactured in any of the laboratories, nor available in any of our foods. And second is the disinfecting power of the morning rays of the sunlight. As we say in Hindi, Suraj ki tirchi kiran ko. And that occurs at twilight, morning and evening. And this is the time that it is prescribed to us to do Dainik Sandhya, daily Sandhya. But the effect of that is felt really after 24 days because of the tilting of the earth on, I think, 23.45 degrees on the axis. And that makes that 24 days for us to start feeling the increase in the intensity of sunlight and in the prolongation of the hours of daylight in the northern hemisphere. The practice is to eat khichdi, wake up in the morning, have the bath and everything, and sit down for prayers. And after that, khichdi, which is a very well-balanced diet, and which is very yummy to children also. Balanced diet in the sense that we have the rice, which is carbs, and then the pulses, grains, lentils, and then we have vegetables there, and with all the spices that we add for chonka, like jeera, ajwain, methi, which is all health promoting. And these helps us to boost our immunity. And we see one of the aspect of the festival commemorating the changes in nature. Second is reminding us to be having always balanced diet in our life, because the source of physical health is our food mainly, and physical exercises. Then requires us also to get some exposure to sunlight to be in good health. And next is what is the current traditions, eating things which has til, gur, etc., which provides us with heat in our body. Because remember, we'll still feel cold for another 15-20 days before we'll start feeling the effect of the oncoming spring. There's been the practice of also sharing the sweets of til, sharing khichdi to those to our neighbors and friends. It's the spirit of bonding with people around us. That's the social aspect of Sankranti. Then there's the kite flying, which is done especially in the northern parts of India. And that is also, especially kids, elderlies meet around the kite flying, that is socializing. But remember, all these leads us to one thing. Sankranti in Sanskrit also means correct behavior, shishta vyavahara, and also means growing. As and when daylight grows, we also grow in knowledge. Vidya, Satya Vidya. And that's not from me, that's from the Sanskrit dictionary by Apte. And the corroboration is given also by Maharshi Dayananda Saraswati in one mantra of the Yajurved 15th chapter, I think it's the 24th mantra. The word Sankrama and Sankramaya comes there and refers to increase in knowledge, increase in our virtuous qualities. That's a brief on Sankranti. Let's see symbolism of the rituals that we do. Sorry. Sorry, just moving and it's the camera which moved. The symbolism of the rituals. I'll be taking probably in various lectures. I'm going to take one thing which we use normally in our rituals. Coconut, shrifal. And when we do yaj like this, especially when we do havan on big occasions, we tend to decorate the havan kun with flowers, with colors, with haldi. And in the four corners, we place the kalash with the coconut, the shrifal on top of it. This is symbolical. We have to understand things behind that. Shrifal, the name itself, Shrifal, it means auspicious fruit. Auspicious why? Look at the creation itself. Coconut grows mostly on the coastal areas where the water is salty. Look at the marvel of nature, bringing that salty water through the trunk to the fruits, and the water is sweet there. The water is very healthy, nutritious, high in minerals, known to be a great detoxicant for detox, rich in minerals, especially very beneficial to people who suffer dehydration, beneficial to our digestive system, especially for people who suffer from constipation. Otherwise, it's healthy because it cleans the internal system. It's also beneficial for purifying, cleansing of the kidney, the liver, these two main organs responsible for eliminating toxins in our body. The many names of that, one is Nariyal, the other one is Mahaphal, but it symbolizes protection. Look at the shell, which is hard. The shell can be compared to the spine in our body, which protects our nervous system and protects the communication between the various parts of the body, the central nervous system. Adorning the kalash and the corners of the Havan Kun, that is symbolical also. Just remember, either we put the coconut whole with the husk and everything, they're green coconuts. which is very beautiful. Otherwise, if we put dry, then what we do, we tend to remove all the husk around it and make it polished. That shows to us that when we are sitting down for prayer, we have to remove one by one all the ills and evils of our life, polish our one physical level, second mental, moral, spiritual level of our life, and come to sit down in heaven in prayers with a pure mind, body, and spirit. It's been a tradition of breaking coconut, especially when people do Griha Pravesh, entering a new home, or in other prayers. You know, that breaking of the coconut symbolizes one thing: breaking of the ego within ourselves, ahankar. And that is something which is really hard to break and throw away out of our life. But leads us things which are symbolical, and if we understand the purpose and try to translate them in our lives, I think we'll be better human beings in line with the Vedas, which tells us Manur Bhava, be human. See the coconut growing in salty water and becoming sweet, like the other comparison with the lotus growing in the mud, but so beautiful, untainted by the water and mud. Can we be like that? Whatever be the circumstances around us, let's retain the brilliance, add sunshine to our life. The soft, and remember the coconut tree. Let's look at it. The roots I know is being used in Ayurveda, and our grandparents used the roots to reduce the level of heat in our body, especially in summer. And it was also known to reduce fever. We make decoction of the roots of the coconut plant, and that is health promoting. Now look at the trunk. We used to cut that, make small stools, decorating stools to sit, especially when we have a patio or we have a terrace. Cut it round flat to a height of probably 18 inches or 2 feet high. We can sit down easily on that, and that stays for even 10 years, withstanding sun and rain. And the leaves, formerly, people who've known probably our grandparents and parents were using the leaves to make broom. What's called sikre ke jharu. I remember one. The second thing, the leaves also were used to, especially in the time when people were poor and they had the thatch roof. So the roof was also being reinforced with that. And the branch also was used as reinforcement in houses made of thatch, and see how things are useful. Now look at the shrifal itself, the coconut. The husk around it is used to make rugs. The shell, so many now decorative items are being made out of the shell. And even, like we say, chains, earrings, all these things are being made out of the shell, polished. Then look at the flesh, the copra, as we say. It's now used in organic diets. It's used in replacement of the traditional cooking oil. It's used to enhance the taste and flavor of food. The desiccated coconut is also used in making of sweets. And the oil now, unfortunately, it was blamed for about 30, 40 years, but now being re-given its own due as health promoting, as is prescribed in Ayurveda. It's being used as organic cooking oil. It's being used in beauty care, massaging the skin, for bright, lustrous skin, bright, lustrous hair. It's also used in organic beauty products. It's used also in medicines, especially Ayurvedic medicines. But the pure water in the inside which we find symbolizes the purity of our mind, body, the purity of our heart within this whole body which we can't see, the purity of the mind which we can't see. And we have to enhance the purity of the soul. It shows to us, if you want to find the purity, delve within our side, drill inside ourselves to discover the purity of our mind, of our hearts, and our soul. Then there's one story about the coconut. It says God never made the rules for offering. And the story, I just got that from the internet while doing some research. This is a true incident which happened about 30 years back. One afternoon after working in the field, in the roads of Madurai, which is in Chennai, the scorching heat, especially of summer in Chennai, temperature about over 40 degrees Celsius, which is the average. One Ramachandra said, okay, he's going to walk to the temple, and he was fond of visiting the temple daily after his routine job. But he was poor, and he went to the mandir. At the entrance, they were selling the, as we say, the archana basket with flowers, the shrifal, and other things there. And he asked the person, he said 10 rupees for the basket. He said, I have only 2 rupees. And this person said, okay, you can take only some flowers. He took the flowers, went to the mandir, and there the Pandit told him, what are you going to do with the flowers? We need the coconut because the deity there requests that the coconut be there. In fact, it's not written anywhere that the deity requires a coconut. But what happens after is said that the person walked out of the mandir, he was discouraged, disappointed, and then he felt somebody pulling his hand. A girl in ragged clothes, pulling the hand of that person, saying, where did you go? He said, I went to the mandir to offer the flowers to Goddess Meenakshi, but then they declined because it didn't have the shrifal. The girl told her, I'm also called Meenakshi, so give me the flowers. And she took the flowers. And that person was very happy. At least that served some purpose, made the girl happy. And when he turned back again to look whether the girl was there, she didn't find the girl. And the story goes there that it was in the mind of that person that the deity came to take the flowers instead of the shrifal. So the shrifal is only symbolical. We need to understand the symbol and apply that symbol in our day-to-day life. Likewise, so many offerings during so many prayers. If we learn the things gradually, slowly, each and every item, like when we sit down for Havan, first we clean the place where we are going to do Havan, but then put the questions to ourselves. Do we sit down in Havan with a clean heart and a clean mind, without any ill feeling towards anybody who might have wronged us somewhere at some time? Like the water we are using for Atman, water symbolizes purity. Do we pledge to keep our thoughts, our words, and our actions pure. Like ghee symbolizes more of sattvic qualities. That is the purest form of positivity. So do we learn to maintain that? Look at the lamp that we light. Below the lamp is always dark, but look at the light and the brightness that spreads. Sankranti, it's been the tradition, people standing in front of the sun offering water. But do we bring that sunshine into our daily life? And we'll bring the sunshine in our daily life only by brightening our thoughts, brightening our words, and brightening all what we do physically. So each and every festival that we are going to celebrate, I'll try to address the spiritual aspects of the various things that we do in the rituals. As far as possible, I'll try to keep to that. I've been doing that quite often so that we can connect more. I don't say to the ritual, but we'll be more moving towards spiritual. Because spirituality avoids us, as we say in French, la descente aux enfers, descending to hell in our life. It allows us to move out of the hell to lead a blissful life, a peaceful life, and realize the pledge that we did at the beginning of the prayers, sukha, happiness, shanti, peace, samriddhi, prosperity. I just hope I've been able to provide you some insight and trust that somewhere, sometime, if one of these things has struck your mind and make you move along and that serves you some purpose, I just pray to Ishwar God that he continues to inspire us to be humane with whatever we do in life. Thank you for your attention. Namaste ji, and leave it to Dhananjay ji for moving ahead with the program.
Thank you. Thank you, Acharya for your very inspiring and informational sermon today. And as you all of you know, we have a Friday at 9 p.m. the kids program, the Sanatan Dharma Simplified, every Friday at 9 p.m. And Saturday mornings 10:30 we have weekly satsang, and on Sunday spiritual learning for the adults at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll proceed further with the Aarti. Vandana ji.
ओम जय जगदीश हरे, स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। जो ध्यावे फल पावे, दुख बिन से मन का। स्वामी दुख बिन से मन का। सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, कष्ट मिटे तन का। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। मात पिता तुम मेरे, शरण गहु मैं किसकी। स्वामी शरण गहु मैं किसकी। तुम बिन और न दूजा, प्रभु बिन और न दूजा। आस करूं मैं जिसकी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा, तुम अंतर्यामी। स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, तुम सबके स्वामी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम करुणा के सागर, तुम पालन करता, स्वामी तुम पालन करता। मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी, मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी, कृपा करो भरता। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम हो एक अगोचर, सबके प्राणपति, स्वामी सबके प्राणपति। किस विधि मिलूं दया में, किस विधि मिलूं दया में, तुमको मैं कुमति। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। दीन बंधु दुख हरता, तुम रक्षक मेरे, स्वामी तुम रक्षक मेरे। अपने हाथ उठाओ, अपने हाथ उठाओ, द्वार पड़ा मैं तेरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। विषय विकार मिटाओ, पाप हरो देवा, स्वामी पाप हरो देवा। श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, संतन की सेवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट, क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
Moving now towards the closing prayers with the 4 lines of Ashirvad again. भगवान इस परिवार को सुख का सदा वरदान दो, ज्ञान की गंगा बहाकर शुद्ध वैदिक ज्ञान दो। निरोग होकर सब जिए शतवर्ष आयुष्मान हो, धन धान्य से पूरित सदा यश युक्त कीर्तिमान हो। पुत्र पौत्रादिक सभी बलवान हो, श्रीमान हो, विद्वान हो, मतिमान हो, धर्मात्मा धीमान हो। Shanti पाठ in the yogic meditative form, linking each and every word with the Shanti, feeling your own pronunciation, the sound waves and the vibrations of the chanting, and praying to Ishwar God for universal peace. And with that universal peace, we have to be peaceful to all the elements of this universe. Om Dyo Shanti Antariksham Shanti Prithvi Shanti Apah Shanti Oshadhaya Shanti Vanaspataya Shanti Vishve Deva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvam Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shantiredhi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O God, by your grace, may all the elements, bodies be peaceful. Antariksha, the space, be peaceful. Apa, the waters, be peaceful. Oshadhaya, the seasonal crops and medicinal plants, be peaceful. Vanaspatayah, the perennial plants and vegetation, be peaceful. Vishwe Devaha, the learned and elderly, be conducive to peace and prosperity. Brahma, may the supreme creator, reliever from pains and sorrows, bring us peace. Sarvam, may the universe be peaceful. Shanti Reva, may peace be peaceful. Sama, may that peace be within us. And the free time Shanti, may there be cosmic, physical, and spiritual peace. May we be free from Adhyatmic, Adivotic, and Adidevik Dukh. Bhojan, mantra, mealtime, prayer. Om Annapate Annasya no Deyanamivasya Sushmina Prapradatam Tarisha Urjanno Dehi Dvipade Chatushpade Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. हे अन्न के स्वामिन प्रभु, आप हमें अन्न दो जो रोग रहित और पुष्टि कारक हो। आप अन्नदाता का कल्याण करो, दो पाए और चौपाए प्राणियों आदि में तेज धारण करो। O Annadata, Ishwar, giver of food, kindly provide us with health and energy producing food. Grant serenity to those who give food in charity. May all living beings be blessed with energy giving food. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you for your attention. Until next week, have a nice week and stay safe. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Acharya-ji, excuse me, Acharya-ji.
Yeah.
Indira asked me to pass a message to you. Pandit Dev Ramatar was to perform Havan tomorrow, and now he says he's not available. So Indira is asking if you would be kind enough to perform tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think the lecture also was his.
Yes.
So I need to do the lecture also.
Yeah, Pravachan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. I'll be joining probably 5-10 minutes before.
Okay.
Tell her no problem. Take care. I'll be joining.
All right. From the Sandhya, from 10 o'clock.
From the beginning. From the beginning.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Acharya-ji.
Yeah.